العبرة من ذلك. I just want to tell Yara that you just said you have been fascinated by MIT. Let me tell you one thing, MIT has also been fascinated by you. I am used to university commencements. In fact, I was at MIT a couple of weeks ago, and I attended this year's commencement there. But this is actually the first time that I come to a secondary school commencement and address high school graduating students, let alone the fact that this is the first time that I addressed an audience in a place so remote from Beirut. But this is Zahle, and in Zahle, I have fond childhood memories. So this is a trip down memory lane for me. And from Beirut, when we want to look at Zahle, we must look up. And looking up is my motto. There is no secret in life. The only possible way to look is up. Because this is the only way to go. This should be your principle in life too, my dear students. So here I am, looking up at all of you in this very special place and on this very special occasion, with utmost pleasure, pride, and hope. For this, many thanks are due to Mrs. Christine Reyes for inviting me here today by writing a wonderful letter. See, a nicely worded letter always goes a long way. She also made me an offer I could not refuse. Mind you, not a godfather type of offer, but the great opportunity of addressing such a beautiful audience. Your warm welcome goes directly to my heart. So I will be talking to you tonight from the heart. Being here in Zahle, بس هيدي مضطر أقولها بالعربي. زحلة يا دار السلام فيكي مربى الأسودي. اسمحوا لي هون بإضافة صغيرة احتراما لصبايا وستات زحلة اللي أنا بعتز فيهم. زحلة يا دار السلام فيكي مربى الأسودي، وحتى لو الأسد نام بتبقى اللبوة موجودة. Zahle, the bride of the Bekaa, the city of culture and beauty, reassures me again and again on how unique Lebanon is and how extraordinary the Lebanese people are. Zahle and Lebanon have paid a horrendous price during the raging war that tore our country apart, but that bought us the right to live free and be safe and proud of our country. Here we are tonight, a few kilometers away from the Syrian inferno, but yet celebrating with you one of the most important moments in your lives. Actually, your first step as responsible adults and citizens. While other young people in neighboring countries are obliged to prove they have become adults by either carrying weapons or by taking the routes of exile and of the unknown, uncertain of what the future is bearing for them or where they will end up. You are today empowering yourselves by taking possession of the most effective weapon on earth, the constructive weapon of knowledge and culture. While those other youngsters have no choice but to drift with the tide of events, you and you alone not only have the choice, but also have to bear the burden of making responsible choices and of charting the course of the journey you decide to take in life. فهن مسيرين بس انتم مخيرين. You will be leaving this place today with an outstanding academic legacy that SES has seeded in you, that so many people do envy you for. And I trust each and every one of you will hold very high the beacon of this legacy. Because I did my personal research, Mrs. Reyes, and homework, I actually found out that SES was established in the same decade as MIT in the 1860s. SES has matured and aged like one of those delightful Bika wines and has been at your side every step of the way. So I know that you have been given by this highly respected institution all the background you need to have a brilliant future. Your parents know, and we all know, that you are academically well equipped and our country's tomorrow is in your hands. Your parents, your teachers, and all those who care for you have been, I'm sure, listening to you and giving you their enlightened advice for what be best for you. And I, in my turn, I'm here to share the moment with you and briefly relate to you what life has been teaching me. But at the end of the day, you alone are the deciders. When the light goes off in a few hours and you go to sleep after a long and festive graduation night, I am sure you will tell yourself, let's go, let's shoot for the stars, let me do all what it takes to be proud of myself, and let all whom I care for be proud of me. Being in a traditionally agricultural environment, I could say you are the growing trees that will soon start to bear fruit, delicious fruits, as your brilliant predecessors did. I can't help but think of those Zahlawis who have made the name of our beloved country shine brighter around the world. They counted on no one. They only counted on themselves. They aimed at the stars, and they each became one of them. To name but a few, I recall, of course, our giant, the late Saeed Aql, Saeed was as much a visionary and a statesman as he was a poet and philosopher. But he ended up being so disillusioned that he very appropriately said, "شعب لبنان عظيم بس دولته مرتبة." Yes, Saeed Aql was right. You are great people. We are worthy individuals, but we cannot rely on anyone, and certainly not on our government or public institutions to offer us a secure environment and to provide us with the means of proving how successful we could be. So is there amongst you a successor to the great Saeed Aql, who enchanted the world with his passion for Lebanon? Think also of Ilyas Hrawi, who became president of the Republic. Think of Fuad al-Tirk, who defended Lebanon tirelessly, both at home and abroad. Think of Charles al-Ashi from nearby Riyadh, director of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in NASA, a rocket scientist indeed. Look at our incomparable Najib Hankash, Najwa Karam, and even Shakira, whose ancestors came from this beloved part of Lebanon and became success stories in their own right. And you, the new generation of Zahliyot Lebanese, you do bear the same genes. You drink from the same wells. If you take the right path in your upper education, you certainly will perpetuate this tradition of excellence. I could even raise the stakes higher and widen the perspective by looking at a city that has a twin with Zahle, Tawame, Belo Horizonte in Brazil. Belo Horizonte was not long ago a processing and distribution center of an agricultural region such as Zahle. Today, Belo Horizonte has evolved to become an international reference in information technology and biotechnology, and is also renowned for its advanced corporate and university research in biodiesel fuel. The number of jobs in IT has been growing in Belo Horizonte at annual rates over 50%. Imagine Zahle achieving the same transformation as its twin city did, by designing computer chips while also manufacturing potato chips. All this can, of course, only be sparked by determined ambitions and deep-rooted faith in your country. After all, the name Zahle is derived from the Syriac, which means, I was told, moving places. Today, I call on you to contribute into making Zahle one of the most vibrant places in Lebanon. I am sure that a talented young lady that you know very well will be part of this transformation. Her name is Yara Ma'lou. Yara, who is sitting behind me somewhere, is the only Lebanese to have been admitted to MIT this year in the entering undergraduate cohort. اللبنانية الوحيدة يارا السنة. If I am not mistaken, this is the very first time Zahle sends one of its daughters to MIT. Yara, the Dean of Admissions, Dr. Stu Schmil, has asked me to relay to you and to SES his kindest wishes. Yara, I look forward to welcoming you myself in the MIT Alumni Association in 2019. Wow. And surely, one day, بعد كم سنة مش كتير، يارا بدها تكون هي الخطيبة واقفة محلي هون. Yes, Yara, you and your friends are the future of Zahle. You can acquire knowledge in your birthplace or from abroad, but rest assured that your skills and capacities can blossom here in Lebanon, in Zahle. And you can make a big difference in Lebanon and in the world without having to leave your roots. Be the ones who make the move, political, economic, social, or cultural move. Be the shakers of today's lethargy, and let the future of Zahle and all Lebanon be a future of accomplishments, a future of successes, a lighthouse for the whole Middle East. From my own perspective, coming from Harvard and MIT, from the Beirut Traders Association, as well as my personal business ventures, I have reached a deep conviction that you can be a local citizen here in Lebanon and a global player all at once. And that if we want to stand out in our environment and precisely in the Middle East, we must detach ourselves from the daily contingencies, however overwhelming, and from the traditional economic perspectives of our fathers and great-grandfathers. These are bound to paralysis, a paralysis we have been experiencing for more than 3 years now in our economy, because it is overly reliant on internal stability and external mobility, both of which, unfortunately, we do not have today. Who knows if security will ever become airtight in Lebanon, and if and when tourists will return. Our region is unstable, our surroundings are unstable. Our exports, and Zahle knows better, have been constrained by an explosive situation in the Arab hinterland. There is no public expenditure on infrastructure, as no budget has been voted for 10 years in a row. Private investments is scarce because of prevailing chaotic situation. And there is no activity in the retail markets because consumption is directly linked to purchasing power, a purchasing power that has been declining dramatically because of the substitution of the Lebanese workers by mostly illegal immigrant workers. The state of the country is wholly unsatisfactory, not to say disastrous. In academic terms, I would give our politicians a resounding F for failure. So what do we do now in order to restart our economy? We clearly have to reinvent it so that our livelihood and our lives remain stable in a tsunami of surrounding instability. We need to strive and build a living that is independent of border problems and internal constraints. And you are the agents of change. Your generation will re-engineer the economy of Lebanon. The future belongs to knowledge, because knowledge makes us economically independent and socially safe. Knowledge is immaterial. It can flourish in your school and even in your bedroom. It does not take huge investments. It is independent of borders. And an economy based on knowledge can grow and prosper, irrespective of the turmoil that happens around it. Our century is the era of globalization, of digitalization and numeric communication. People are printing in 3D while we still have problems with electricity supply. بس أنتوا عندكم كهرباء زحمة. You will be the main players of tomorrow's economy. Think outside the box. Have extra large ambitions. Aim at changing the world. obtain new technologies, find a cure for cancer and Alzheimer, build a new space rocket, invent the new generations. انتوا اخترعوا فيسبوك وواتساب جديدة، انتوا الموجودين هون وراي. But above all, make your life matter and leave enduring fingerprints in your society, economy, and country. Tonight, when I look up to the sky of Zahle, I can see that the stars are brighter and closer. This reinforces my conviction that the sky should be the only limit. Go after your dreams, and I want you to repeat after me, please. Someday, I too will become a twinkling star in the magical skies of Zahle. God bless you all. الله يحمي زحلة الحبيبة ويخليها لأهلها، والله يرد الضربات عن لبنان، وأنا بشكركم.